All right, welcome to Uncensored Conservatism. This is episode 324. So, today, as everybody knows, the approval ratings of the Democrats is around 19%, which basically puts them in shit in the toilet range. So, why is that? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to count down 20 ways why that is. Starting here at number 20. Okay, this is Bill Gates of Microsoft fame. He's not a scientist. In fact, Bill Gates is a college dropout from Harvard, no less proving that you don't need a doctorate or even a college education to make it in America these days. And he was good at one thing: computers and their language. And the reason he dropped out was that he was a millionaire at age 22 and a billionaire at age 31. Show you that there. And a billionaire at age 31. Why? Because he was good at computers. So that doesn't make Bill Gates a climatologist, and it doesn't make him a microbiologist because he likes mRNA. And it doesn't make him an expert or a scientist of virology or epidemiology because he likes vaccines. He's not a scientist. At number 19, Nancy Pelosi. She's not a hero of the middle class. She'll constantly tell you how everything a Democrat does is for the middle class or for the children. But, now, I will admit she is a rather savvy stock trader. Here's a woman who makes $223,000 a year and is worth over $240 million, according to the most conservative estimates. She's about as middle class as Kamala Harris. In fact, she's actually in the dreaded 1% of Americans. And who can forget all that designer ice cream? Yummy. But then when you have $240 million, who needs Breyer's ice cream? At number 18, Adam Kinzinger. Yeah, no, he's not a savior of democracy because he fell for the bullshit the Democrats put forth about Trump being a threat to democracy. He's a crybaby also. And by the way, after they used this dolt, the Democrats in Illinois redrew his district and kicked him to the curb. A useful tool? Oh, absolutely. Speaking truth to power? Not so much. Next up, California Congressman Eric Swallowswell comes in at number 17 because he is not social media savvy. I mean, the Democrats laugh about his memes and videos and such, which are TikTok videos, which are really cringeworthy. In an attempt to make fun of Trump, this clown ate a Taco Bell taco and lost half of his filling on the first bite, trying to make his point. He tries to create stupid memes now and then. You see that meme behind him? That's funny, right? Trump saving the geese and cats from Haitians in Ohio. That was funny. The problem is Eric Swalwell lacks any self-awareness because Eric bang bang fang fang too much. All right, Bernie Sanders. He's not a Democrat. That comes in at number 16. I mean, no, really, technically he's an independent who caucuses with the Democrats in the Senate. But when it comes down to brass tacks, he's not even an independent. He's a socialist at best, communist at worst. Which is kind of funny because Bernie actually failed off of a commune because he refused to work. And he's up there in net worth, but it's still peanuts compared to Nancy Pelosi. So moving on at number 15, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor is not a wise Latina from the Bronx as she once described herself. She may be Latina and she may be from the Bronx, but wise? I don't think so. These two unknowns may have a greater claim to that title. Just read any of her opinions. It's not exactly up there, with great jurisprudence. And her questions in oral argument meander all over the place. All right, at number 14, cackling Kamala is not black. She's half black. And by the way, she's not from the middle class either, as she always claimed. A case could be made that this guy, who is also half black, is more black than Kamala. But she can do a good imitation of an inner city black person when the mood fits. There she is doing, you said what? Or one in a Southern Baptist church when that mood fits. But African American or black, Nope. Would have been the first half-black female president. Boy, did we dodge a bullet. Okay, this is an easy one at number 13. William called me Leah Thomas, that weird swimmer from the University of Pennsylvania. Nope, not female. Sorry. Here's a before and after picture after its transition into female wannabe. Even in the picture on the right here, you can see a bulge. Yep. Put it in a dress, you still have a penis and balls. And yes, it is true that William went from rank number 462 as a male in collegiate swimming to number 1 as a female. And I love the look on this girl's face here. She's like, what the fuck? But a female, not even close, Billy. That's because at number 12, we have a woman who can't even define what a woman is. Seriously, she testified to that under oath. Ketanji Brown Jackson, she actually made Supreme Court history when it was announced that she would be the first black woman on the court. Not the first black person on the court, the first black woman on the court. Yeah, this moron sits on the United States Supreme Court, and then people wonder why Trump wants to get rid of that diversity nonsense. At number 11, nope, Jill, you're not a doctor. Well, she does have a doctorate in education from the University of Delaware, but apparently they're a dime a dozen at that college. I mean, seriously, go online and read it. It's a bunch of educational gobbledygook, doublespeak. And this is a quote leaving everyone to wonder what an 8-week study week is. And the media insisted you call her Dr. Jill, or else you were just being mean. All right. These are Indians, Native Americans, indigenous people, or whatever you want to call them these days. This is not a Native American, an Indian, or an indigenous person. But she went on a podcast and says that because she was born in Oklahoma and because her family told her she had Indian blood in her, that's why she marked Native American on all those applications to be a professor at Harvard and on her Texas Bar Association certification. Okay, not an Indian, and that's number 10. And number 9, George Floyd was not a hero. Not even close. Neil Armstrong is a hero. Yeah, your local firefighter is a hero, but George Floyd, not a hero. But he is Democrats. I mean, think about it. This dude's claim to fame is trying to pass a counterfeit bill and then telling the arresting police, I can't breathe. That's it. That's his claim to fame. The fentanyl in the systems. Now, I'm sorry he lost his life and all that, but look at it this way. This is one less useless member of society to worry about. But a hero? Yeah. Nope. Don't think so. Not being mean, but he's not a hero. And number 8, Hunter Biden is just a good kid. He's not. He just hit a rough patch in life. And by the way, did you notice how Joe Biden would always play the Bo card with everything? You see, Hunter went on some long crack-infused bender because Bo kicked the bucket from cancer. Then Hunter moved in on the widow. I guess the crack, coke, and booze made him do it. For 3 years. 3 fucking years, he dorked his brother's widow. I mean, Jesus, what a good kid. And let's not forget that Joe's good kid made millions off a Ukrainian energy giant, despite having no experience in the field. But hey, what a blanket pardon's for. Number 7, Michelle Obama. The former First Lady and possibly a man is not the face of oppression. She's never been oppressed. Now the host of a little listened to podcast raised the issue with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and repeated the claim that because her daughters are black, they have to live in fear of being pulled over by the police. Listen, your kids have 24-hour Secret Service protection. They could be pulled over, they could flip off the police officer, they could tell the police officer to go fuck himself, but nothing's going to happen to them. It's just not going to happen. And this is just one of the 3 mansions the oppressed Ms. Obama lives in. Now, if that's oppression, then I got to get me some of that oppression. At number 6, This is a rising star of the Democratic Party, which might help explain why their favorability ratings are in the toilet. The former bartender. The former bartender from the Bronx, I think she only cleaned up bar spills, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. What can you say about her that hasn't been said about any retard anywhere? And she's a drama queen to boot, a bad one at that. There was this staged cry fest at some illegal immigrant camp in Texas, and she hid from rioters on January 6th out of fear of being raped. Nobody's gonna rape you, okay, honey? Yeah, not with a 10-foot dick. This is a rising star in the Democratic Party. Then Republicans should be cheering her on. Okay, anyway, at number 5, riots are mostly peaceful. The George Floyd riots cost $2 billion, and the one in Kenosha, Wisconsin, cost $50 million. But they were mostly peaceful. And it wasn't only that little chyron at the bottom of a CNN report as evidence of what the media and the Democrats, but I repeat myself, were trying to sell us. They weren't riots. They were protests that just happened to start lots of fires and have stores looted. And it's continuing today in Los Angeles, this time over immigration enforcement. When protesters come with pre-printed signs, weapons, and a means to commit arson, it ceases to be a protest, folks. And it certainly was not mostly peaceful. All right. Anyway, number 4. You could say it 1,000 times, but Rachel Levine is no more a woman than Leah Thomas is a female, or William Thomas. It's just an ugly looking man, okay? These people, they suffer from a mental disorder, but they convince themselves they are what they clearly are not. And maybe we should ask Dr. Jill to come explain it to them, but she would probably just give them some educational double speak gobbledygook and confirm it anyway. But unfortunately, we know what has happened to Liz Cheney. It wasn't pretty before, and it's fucking uglier now. Okay, number 3. A retarded at worst and an autistic at best little scold from Sweden is not an expert at anything, but especially climate change. So here's the thing with Greta Thunberg. She's likely the victim of some form of child abuse where her parents latch on to her delusions and make some bucks off of it. Plus, she's a pro-terrorist, anti-Semite, socialist little cunt. I'm sorry, I don't like using that word. I don't like it, but there's no other word for her. Name one thing this brat has done in life of consequence other than run around the world as the self-proclaimed leader of young people when it comes to climate change. Or is it the Palestinian cause these days? She's proof that kids should be spanked on occasion. And how dare she lecture anyone? How dare you? I gotta wonder if she practiced that speech and that look in the mirror, or did daddy coach her? Greta Thunberg, she's a living example of an expert in nothing but brain damage. And it makes you want to be in favor of abortion to avoid inflicting a bitch like this on the world. All right, next up, Joe Biden is the epitome of competence. That comes in at number 2. So his handlers kept most of America in the dark for the better part of 4 years, but it all came crashing down on a June night in 2024 for all of America and the world to see. But, not that there weren't many clues there previous to that infamous debate, and the media went along for the ride. Conservatives were just being big meanie heads pointing out how he fell asleep at events or wandered aimlessly around the stage at times when he wasn't falling off a bike attempting to come to a stop. And I guess the Secret Service forgot to put the training wheels back on the bike or something. Or when he was tripping up steps onto an airplane. How do you constantly trip up steps? Yeah, he was all there. Okay. Nice job for 4 years. And finally, at number 1, this is a Democrat's idea of normal. Not mom, baseball, and apple pie, but gay freaks prancing in the streets, showing off their buttocks, their bulges, and their little man boobies. Here's a colorful fella. Yeah, everyone dresses like that, even gay people. Where do they keep these outfits? Yeah. I guess they just keep them around for one day out of the year. And anyway, and here's a handsome dude, gay dude, who should put his outfit and himself back in the closet. But, I guess that's to, gaydar there. But hey, let your let your freak flag fly. Ooh, alliteration. Yep. Right, Democrats? Yeah. Love is love and all those other little phrases they come up with. Come on, Democrats. You're seriously going to tell America this is anything to be proud of, let alone normal? I mean, there used to be a name for this. A freak show. And freaks are not, by definition, normal. Okay? And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day and a more pleasant tomorrow.